Love beyond age. Young women feel deeply drawn to older men when this happens. The hidden truth about attraction revealed. Welcome to Wise Love Dynamics. I'm so grateful you're here. People often say a young woman is attracted to an older man because of his experience, his stability, or the way he carries himself. But the truth goes much deeper than that. A young woman may notice your confidence, your calm energy, even the way you speak with intention. But she only truly falls when you awaken something deeper inside her, something that has nothing to do with age alone and everything to do with presence, that quiet strength, that grounded certainty, the kind of energy that only comes from living, learning, and understanding life beyond surface level emotions. In today's world, where everything moves fast and connections feel temporary, something interesting is happening. More and more young women are finding themselves drawn to older men, not because they want to escape their generation, but because they are searching for something real. Older men are no longer trying to impress. They're not chasing validation. They're simply being. And that being is exactly what creates attraction. So today I'm sharing 5 powerful traits that make a young woman not just like you, but feel safe, connected, and deeply drawn to you. Before we begin, if something here speaks to you, consider subscribing to Wise Love Dynamics and share this with someone who might need to hear it. Let's start with the first truth. Trait number 1. Stop chasing her. Let her feel your calm confidence. One of the biggest mistakes men make, especially when they are interested in a younger woman, is trying too hard to prove themselves. They think they need to compete, impress, or match her energy. But what truly attracts her is the opposite. A young woman is surrounded by men who chase, who seek attention, who try to impress. When she meets a man who is calm, grounded, and not desperate for her approval, it creates curiosity. It makes her pause. It makes her wonder. This isn't about playing games or pretending to be distant. It's about genuinely knowing your worth, knowing that your value doesn't decrease based on her reaction. When you carry that quiet confidence, she feels it, in your voice, in your silence, in the way you don't rush. And that energy pulls her in. She begins to lean toward you, not because you chased her, but because you made her feel something different. Trait number 2. Make her feel seen beyond her youth. Many young women are used to being admired for their beauty, their energy, or their appearance. But very few are truly seen for who they are beneath all that. When you take the time to understand her thoughts, her fears, her dreams, you step into a place most men never reach. You're no longer just another man attracted to her. You become someone who understands her. Listen to her, not just to respond, but to feel what she's saying. Reflect back the depth you notice in her. Let her know she's more than what the world sees. When she feels truly seen, something shifts inside her. She opens. She trusts. And that trust becomes the foundation of deeper attraction. Trait number 3. Be her emotional safe place. A young woman may appear confident, strong, and independent on the outside, but like everyone, she carries uncertainties, fears, and moments of doubt. When she feels safe with you, truly safe, the connection becomes powerful. Being a safe place doesn't mean always agreeing. It means not judging. It means allowing her to express herself without fear of being dismissed. It's in the way you listen when she's emotional, the way you stay calm when she's overwhelmed, the way you don't try to control her feelings, but simply hold space for them. When she realizes she can be fully herself around you without pretending or performing, she starts to associate you with peace. And peace is something she will always come back to. Trait number 4. Live a purpose-driven life. Nothing is more attractive than a man who has direction, not because of status or money, but because of clarity. When you wake up with purpose, when your life is filled with meaning beyond relationships, it shows. You're not waiting for someone to complete you. You're already complete. And that's what draws her in. A young woman doesn't just want excitement. She wants stability. She wants to feel like she's stepping into a life that has depth. When you invite her into your world, not as the center of it, but as someone who adds to it, she feels honored. And that feeling builds attraction in a way nothing else can. Trait number 5. Love her deeply without losing yourself. There's something incredibly powerful about a man who can love fully, but still remain grounded in who he is. A young woman may have experienced relationships where love felt overwhelming, controlling, or uncertain. When she meets a man who loves with calm intensity, without losing his identity, it feels different. It feels safe. You give her attention, care, and affection. But you don't abandon your life, your values, or your boundaries. You show her that love doesn't have to be chaotic to be deep. It can be steady, it can be real. And that kind of love stays. When you bring these 5 traits into your life, you're not trying to her. You become naturally attractive. You become the kind of man she feels drawn to, trusts, and eventually sees a future with. Because in the end, it's not about age. It's about energy. It's about presence. It's about how you make her feel when she's with you. The truth is, the right woman won't just notice these qualities, she'll elte. And once she does, she won't want to let go. So stay grounded, stay real, and let your presence do what chasing never can. And if this message resonated with you, stay connected with Wise Love Dynamics as we continue exploring the deeper truths of attraction, connection, and lasting love. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. Because once a young woman feels drawn to you, the real question is, what makes her stay? What makes her choose you over everyone else in her world? Attraction may begin with curiosity, but deep connection is built on something far more powerful. Trait number 6, be emotionally steady when she is not. A younger woman often experiences emotions more intensely, not because she is immature, but because she is still navigating life, relationships, and her own identity. When she meets a man who doesn't react impulsively, who doesn't get shaken easily, it creates a sense of stability she didn't even realize she needed. When she's confused, you remain clear. When she's emotional, you remain grounded. Not cold, not distant, but calm and present. This balance makes her feel protected, not controlled. And over time, she begins to rely on your presence as her anchor. Trait number 7, challenge her mind, not just her feelings. Physical attraction may catch her attention, but mental stimulation is what keeps her engaged. A young woman is used to conversations that stay on the surface. But when you challenge her thoughts, introduce new perspectives, and make her see the world differently, you become unforgettable. You don't need to dominate conversations. Instead, you guide them. You ask deeper questions. You share insights from your life experience without preaching. And slowly, she begins to associate you with growth, with expansion, with a version of herself that feels more aware, more alive. Trait number 8, don't try to fit into her world, let her step into yours. Many men make the mistake of trying to become what they think she wants. They adjust their personality, their habits, even their values. But this weakens attraction. What truly draws her in is a man who already has a life, a rhythm, a standard. You don't abandon your world to enter hers. You invite her into yours. And when she sees that your life has structure, depth, and meaning, she feels a natural desire to be part of it. Not because she has to, but because it feels right. Trait number 9, be selective with your attention. Attention is one of the most powerful forms of value. When given too freely, it loses its impact. A young woman is used to constant attention from men, messages, compliments, reactions. But when your attention is intentional, when it's given with presence and not desperation, it feels different. You're not ignoring her, you're choosing her moments. And that choice makes her feel special in a way that constant attention never could. Trait number 10, let her feel your quiet desire, not pressure. Desire is important. It creates attraction, chemistry, and connection. But there's a difference between desire and pressure. Pressure makes her pull away. Quiet desire pulls her closer. It's in the way you look at her, the way you speak, the subtle energy that tells her you're interested without needing to force anything. When she feels that calm, confident desire, she doesn't feel overwhelmed. She feels drawn in, slowly, naturally. And that's where real connection grows. When you embody these traits, something powerful happens. You stop trying to win her, and instead, she begins choosing you. Not because you convinced her, but because she feels something with you she cannot explain. A mix of safety, curiosity, respect, and attraction. And once that feeling is real, it becomes very hard for her to walk away. Because what you offer isn't common. It's rare, it's steady, it's real. And in a world full of temporary connections, that's exactly what she's been searching for. And now, here's the truth most men never hear. Attraction may bring her closer. Connection may make her stay. But what makes a young woman truly fall, what makes her choose you again and again, is how you make her feel about herself when she's with you. Not just how you treat her, but how she experiences herself in your presence. Trait number 11, make her feel calm, not confused. Many young women are used to emotional ups and downs in relationships, mixed signals, unclear intentions. moments of closeness followed by distance. It creates excitement but also anxiety. When she meets a man who is clear, steady, and emotionally consistent, it feels different. She doesn't have to guess where she stands. She doesn't have to overthink every message or moment. She feels calm, and that calm becomes addictive because it's rare. Trait number 12, respect her freedom while leading with strength. A young woman doesn't want to feel controlled, but she also doesn't feel secure with a man who has no direction. The balance is powerful. You respect her independence, her choices, her individuality, but at the same time, you carry a quiet leadership. You make decisions when needed. You guide without forcing. You create direction without taking away her voice. And in that balance, she feels both free and protected at the same time. Trait number 13, be the man she can grow with, not outgrow. One of the deepest fears a young woman has, even if she never says it out loud, is outgrowing the person she's with. When you continue to evolve, learn, and expand your mindset, you remove that fear. You become someone who grows with her, not someone she has to leave behind. You show her that life with you isn't static. It's a journey. And she begins to see a future where she doesn't feel limited, but expanded. And here's where everything comes together. A young woman doesn't fall in love just because you're older. She falls because you offer something she doesn't find easily in her world. Stability without control, desire without pressure, depth without complication. You become her calm in a noisy world, her clarity in confusion, her peace in chaos. And when she feels that, she doesn't just like you. She attaches to the feeling you give her. That's what makes her stay. That's what makes her choose you even when she has options. Because what you give her is not just attention. It's an experience, one that feels safe, real, and deeply fulfilling. So if you've been wondering whether age matters, here's your answer. Age is not the reason. Energy is, presence is, emotional strength is. Become the man who is grounded, clear, and real, and you won't need to chase anything. The right woman will feel it. And when she does, she won't just come closer. She'll stay. If this message spoke to you, take a moment to reflect on which of these traits you already carry and which ones you can grow into. Because this isn't about changing who you are, it's about becoming more of who you already have the potential to be. Stay steady, stay intentional, and let your presence speak louder than anything you could ever say. And if you want more insights like this, stay connected with Wise Love Dynamics, where we go deeper into what truly creates attraction, connection, and lasting love. And now, let's bring everything together in a way most people never truly understand. Because attraction is not built in a single moment. It's built in the small, consistent feelings you create over time. Trait number 14, be predictable in your character, not boring in your presence. A young woman doesn't want chaos, even if she's used to it. She wants to know who you are, what you stand for, and how you show up. When your character is consistent, when your words match your actions, it creates trust. And trust is the foundation of everything deeper. But consistency doesn't mean being dull. Your presence can still carry mystery, depth, and quiet excitement. It's the balance of stability and intrigue that keeps her emotionally invested. Trait number 15, let her earn your depth over time. One of the biggest mistakes men make is revealing everything too quickly. They give all their attention, all their emotions, all their time too early. But depth is valuable, and value grows when it's revealed gradually. When you allow her to discover you layer by layer, she becomes more invested. She becomes curious. She leans in, not because you are hiding, but because you respect your own depth enough not to give it away all at once. Trait number 16. Hold your standards, even when you like her. Attraction should never make you abandon your values. In fact, the moment you lower your standards to keep someone is the moment you lose real attraction. A young woman may test boundaries, not always consciously, but to understand who you are. When you stay firm, calm, and respectful in your standards, it creates respect. And respect is what turns attraction into something lasting. Now, here is the final truth. A young woman doesn't stay because you are perfect. She stays because being with you feels right in a way she can't easily explain. You become the man who doesn't rush her, doesn't confuse her, doesn't drain her. You become the man who brings clarity, calm, and quiet intensity into her life. And that combination is rare. In a world full of noise, you become her silence. In a world full of pressure, you become her ease. In a world full of temporary emotions, you become her steady ground. And when a woman feels that deeply, she doesn't just enjoy your presence, she attaches to it. She protects it. She chooses it. So if you take anything from this, let it be this. You don't need to chase. You don't need to prove. You don't need to compete. You simply need to become. Become steady. Become clear. Become a man whose presence speaks louder than his words. Because in the end, it's not the loudest man who wins her attention. It's the most grounded man who keeps her heart. This is where real attraction lives, not in effort, but in energy. Not in words, but in presence. Not in trying, but in being. And if you felt a shift while listening to this, if something inside you feels clearer, stronger, more grounded, then you're already on the path. Keep building that version of yourself. Keep choosing growth over validation. And trust that the right woman will not only see it, she will feel it. And when she feels it, she won't just come closer. She will stay. Thank you for being here with Wise Love Dynamics. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, share it with someone who needs it, and continue this journey of understanding what truly creates deep, lasting connection. Because the more you understand this, the less you'll ever need to chase love again.